If you skip to the later part of the video, you'll find a lot of clips from the arrivals and especially the Roger Morneau interview. But just very quickly before this video begins, I just wanted to say about the 7 chakra points. Yeah, there does seem to be some truth to this, and what's interesting is number 6, blocking illusion by insight.
How in schools?
Schools train people to be ignorant with style. They give you the equipment that you need to be a functional ignoramus. American schools do not equip you to deal with things like logic. They don't give you the criteria by which to judge between good and bad in any medium or format. And they prepare you to be a usable victim for a military-industrial complex that needs manpower. As long as you're just smart enough to do a job and just dumb enough to swallow what they feed you, you're going to be all right. But if you go beyond that, you're going to have these grave doubts that give you stomach problems, headaches, make you want to go out and do something else. So I believe that schools mechanically and very specifically try and breed out any hint of creative thought in the kids that are coming up.
Assalamu alaikum all, thank you for being here again. Just a quick warning, this is a mishmash of clips that may begin abruptly. And if you do jump forward about halfway through the video, I think at least about 20 minutes into the video, you'll find things on mesmerism, hypnotism, and I know what I'm talking about because I've seen it enter the field of science in the psychology departments personally myself. And this is nothing. Just like they've ridiculed the word conspiracy, they've ridiculed the word flat. They've also taught everyone, be like, what difference does it make? How does it affect your iman? You know, these things that you hear again and again. What difference does it make to my daily life? Or okay, so let's have a look at that. So this bit I've titled Reflecting Upon the Firmly Set Fixed Mountains. Okay, so again, this is for those who think. It's not for everyone. I know this whole thing it's gonna really frustrate and anger a lot of people, or say this is stupid, he's stupid, whatever. Anyway, so Surah Ar-Ra'd, the thunder, Surah number 13, verse, ayah number 3. وَهُوَ الَّذِي مَدَّ oh, there's that word mud again. Oh yes, so I'm bringing up what I've already mentioned before, but now I want for us to have a look at it in a different context, in a different light. And he is the one who stretched the earth and placed in it firmly set fixed mountains. You go through Rawasiya, I think I'm about to. The mountains are firmly set fixed, and rivers. And from all, so he covers the night of the day. Indeed, in that surely are the signs for a people who reflect. Inna fi dhalika la ayat. It's all about the signs, ayat. لِقَوْمِ يَتَفَكَّرُونَ Yatafakkur. This is what people are told to do. This is what believers need to do. Mu'mins, they need to do tafakkur. What is tafakkur? It is to reflect. Some people say think, some people say ponder. Again, very bad choice of words in translation, because think is not really deep. Ponder is just like, that's nice, kind of, yeah, you know. But reflect is, now that's another thing. That's something a bit deeper. Fine, you can argue they're all the same, but I think reflect is deeper. It's the right choice. And that is what tafakkur is, reflecting. So Allah mentions this is indeed that these firmly set fixed mountains, yeah, on this stretched earth are a signs for people who reflect. So let's have a think about that. Let's have a look. Next. Another ayah which mentions the mountains and reflecting as well. What is it about this Rawasiya? Is it Rawasiya here as well? I'm not sure. Let me see. No. Okay, it's just a mountain. Is it Jabal? Yeah, Jabal. Okay, so not Rawasiya here. But again, the mountain and reflection. So لو أنزلنا هذا القرآن على جبل لرأيته خاشعا متصدعا من خشية الله وتلك الأمثال نضربها للناس لعلهم يتفكرون. If we had sent down this Quran, this is why it's selected. It's all about this Quran. How big is this Quran? Yeah, I remember Brother Sadi mentioning this, I think once. He wanted, he was quite taken aback by that as well. If we had sent down this Quran upon a mountain, surely you would have seen it humbled, breaking apart into pieces from fear of Allah. And these examples we present. So the other one was the signs for a people who reflect, and this one is, and these examples we present to them, to the people, so that they may reflect. So there's something about this mountain and reflecting. And this mountain is mentioned various times. I haven't put them here, but Rawasi are firmly set, fixed mountains on a stretched earth. And it is signs for people to reflect. And these are examples so then people may reflect. So let's have a look. Let's do a little bit of reflection. Let's reflect on the word reflect. Tafakkur. So the roots are fakura. Think, intellect, opinion, view, idea, reflect. Now again, like I said, the rest of those are kind of weak. They don't do it justice, but that last one for me, that's just my choice. You can choose the others if you like, but that's just my choice. I think reflect does it justice. So let's have a look. What does reflect actually mean? So it does mean, if you look in the dictionary, it means to think deeply or carefully about. And interestingly, so if we are to reflect on the word reflect, tafakkur, and into the roots of tafakkur, fa, kaf, and ra. So interestingly, that is the root for reflect in Arabic, fa, kaf, and ra. And the root for disbelief in Arabic is kaf, fa, and ra. Ring any bells? Ka, fa, ra. So similar, yet quite the opposite in nature. Which one of these will guide us to Allah? So Allah is telling us about the mountains, the firmly set, fixed mountains in the stretched earth. Signs for people who reflect, tafakkur, so that people may reflect. The mountains are there. These firmly set, fixed mountains in the stretched earth. So, which one of these will guide us to Allah? Reflecting or disbelief? Which one of these will be written? Okay, I'll repeat that again. It's very difficult doing these recordings anyway. So similar yet quite the opposite in nature. Which one of these will guide us to Allah? Which one of these will be written on Dajjal's forehead? Here you go. Here's the hadith. قال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم الدجال ممسوح العين مكتوب بين عينيه كافر ثم تهجاها كافرا. What does that mean, that hadith? So the next clip is from a Maulana who covered Dr. Omar Zaid's PDF.
This paper was done by Dr. Omar Zaid in 2012. Now, a brother, mashallah, Pir Bhai, alhamdulillah, he sent me what I mentioned earlier on about the eye of Ra and how I saw Ka, Fa, Ra inside in the symbol of the eye of Ra. And then again, the relationship between the eye of Ra and Dajjal, the Antichrist, and how things are mentioned. Interesting enough, Dr. Omar Zaid basically had masonry roots. And then, alhamdulillah, thumma alhamdulillah, as I understand, he actually, mashallah, came into the fold of Islam and reverted as a Muslim, subhanallah. Anyway, he has a lot of knowledge in symbolism. And in 2012 he did a paper, and this is a paper actually, interesting enough. Now there's no absolutes here, but it's interesting at least for the ulama to take a look at. And take from this whatever there is of benefit, I guess. I mean, like I said, there's no absolutes in here, but I personally strongly believe that there's a lot of leverage in this claim that the Dajjal will most likely have the eye of Ra in the center of his forehead, which is the Kaf Ra that the Prophet ﷺ drew on the sand for the Sahaba radiallahu anhum when he basically was showing them what would be written between the forehead of Dajjal and how every discerning believer will basically recognize that as kafir. Anyway, these are some of the hadiths mentioned in there and referenced by Dr. Umar Zaid, which is Anas bin Malik, reported that Allah's Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, Dajjal is blind of one eye and there is written between his eyes the word kafir. He then spelt the word as kafara, which every Muslim would be able to read. Okay, Sahih Muslim Hadith 707, chapter 41, Anas bin Malik reports that Allah's Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, there is never a prophet who has not warned the Ummah of that one-eyed liar. Behold, he is one-eyed, and your Lord is not one-eyed. On his forehead are the letters kafara, kafir. Sahih Muslim Hadith 7008, chapter 41, Anas bin Malik reported that Allah's Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam said there would be written 3 letters, kafara, kafir, between the eyes of Dajjal. Okay, now moving on. The eye of Horus, you must be aware of the symbology of the all-seeing eye, which is on the US dollar, MI5 logo, and many important institutions in the world. The US dollar, here you go, the eye of Horus. British MI5, the eye of Horus at the top, and then the crown below it. Okay, and then US Information Awareness Office, yeah, and then the eye of Horus. Then you've got it in at the Vatican. We understand, we've already discussed how they the pagan extension to Christianity as opposed to the Orthodox one, which predominantly seems to be in the region of Russia. And then you've got Masonry with the eye of Horus again.
Okay, and just to quickly interrupt this clip on Masonic hand gestures and symbolism, I thought I'd include also another great video done by the same Maulana recently, just showing exactly how these symbols, sigils, are embedded in what looks to be quite innocent symbols, but as he's showing here right now, you can just layer some of these symbols. So he's used the Space Force symbol, yeah, United States Space Force symbol, and he's showing us just by using some simple software how you can fit the Baphomet, and that's what this chevron or this arrow really is that you see everywhere. Basically, you'll find it everywhere. This is just one example. But yeah, you'll find this Baphomet embedded in a lot of their symbolism. So it's good for people to know who they're actually dealing with.
not dust here. This is Earth seen through the rings of Saturn. Earth. And just a reminder, we are a speck in the middle of a cosmic void, occupying what we call Earth. But in fact, if you come upon our solar system from outside, if you're an alien first coming upon our solar system, Earth would be barely noticed by you. You'll notice Saturn, you'll notice Jupiter, and you'll say, what are these balls of rock?
Insignificant speck of dust, pale blue dot. I wonder what is they're trying to teach. Your life has no meaning. So this is what you find. Look at his symbolism on the tie, or what he's wearing, and this is the symbolism. Jesuits. These are Jesuits, Masons. Yeah, these are the people who we're believing in when they're selling us the globe.
And the Society of Jesus, or the Jesuits, were founded in 1540. They are largely responsible for the spread of heliocentrism.
Notice the sun in their logo. It's because they are sun worshippers and want nothing more than for all of humanity to also worship the sun. Here is what the earth was depicted like thereafter.
This was created by a Jesuit scholar in 1665.
Yes, the heliocentric globe model of the world has always had its advocates, but these celebrated figures throughout history have almost all been easy to spot Freemasons, and I should note that Freemasonry is a form of Judaism.
And the founder of the Jesuits, Ignatius of Loyola, was a crypto-Jew.
A crypto-Jew is a Jew who converts to another religion and outwardly embraces the new religion, while secretly maintaining Jewish practices.
While all these Freemasons and Jesuits were pushing the heliocentric model of the Earth, many people were saying, wait a minute, what's this about? The Earth is provably flat and motionless. You can find several well-written books with amazing insight on why the heliocentric theory is false and why the static plane is the truth, and these books kept coming well into the 1900s. We have Satanic Astronomy from 1865, Is the Bible from Heaven? Is the Earth a Globe? from 1890, and that one was written by the guy who made the now famous Gleason's map, which is a flat Earth map. We have Satanic Cosmogony from 1899, Terra Firma, Earth Not a Planet from 1901, and so on.
If you go to the website archive.org, you can find all of these and many more to download for free.
Now the time came when Lucifer decided that he had to choose a person to initiate this thing. And Franz Mesmer, which was an Austrian physician, was chosen. Because
the priest told you all of this?
Oh yeah,
okay.
Because he was most capable. Mesmer originated a theory called animal magnetism, later on named Mesmerism. Mesmer was led by the spirits to believe, and this is what the priest said, was led by the spirits to believe that certain persons have a magnetic influence within themselves, so to speak, that would cause them to have great power over other persons, even to the point of placing them into a trance. And at that time, that was readily accepted by people in general, at the time that Mesmer lived. So people realized, you know, some people got a capacity to put you into a trance. That's the way. Now, by the time that he died, in 1815, a lot of the physicians in Europe were using hypnotism as a means of anesthesia.
Now, hypnotism is the same as mesmerism?
That's right. Okay. So mesmerism that's been developed to a higher degree of refinement. And the priest went on saying that the plan of Satan to deceive the human family this way, he says, is the most intriguing thing to his mind. And he went on saying how it was going to be brought about. He said that a fellow by the name of Darwin and another fellow by the name of Thomas Henry Huxley would be used by the spirits.
It's you. You're a star. Call me in the morning. You got it. First thing.
Bye, Larry.
That definitely shake it.
And then you've got the Declaration of Rights of Man, and this is basically in the States, and you've got the Eye of Horus at the top with the pyramid. Okay, the all-seeing eye is a modified version of the original Eye of Horus, which is also confirmed by Wikipedia. Now, when they say it's a modified version of the original Eye of Horus, this is the original Eye of Horus. What you see in the center of the pyramid is the original version. What you see here is the modified version where they've taken the Ra and the Kahf out from the eye and just shown the eye itself, right? Okay, so this is the Kahf we are referring to, this is the Ra we are referring to. Again here, this line on top of the eyebrow as it were, is the Ra. This symbol below the eye is the Kahf that we are referring to, and you'll see exactly how all of that works, and you'll probably see it in a second as Dr. Omar Zaid has basically laid out in this document. Mashallah. Anyway, the all-seeing eye is a modified version of the original Eye of Horus, which is also confirmed by Wikipedia. Imagery of an all-seeing eye can be traced back to Egyptian mythology and the Eye of Horus. Below are some illustrations of the Eye of Horus. Okay, we've seen that. As the following figure below illustrates, the Eye of Horus, when rotated, forms into three letters which are Ka, Fa, Ra. Figure 1 is the original image of the Eye of Horus. Figure 2 is when it is rotated, and the figure 3 is when the three letters can be seen separately. Figure 4 shows that the three letters form Kufr, Kafar, Kafara. Okay, so this is the original Eye of Horus. And then this is when it's rotated. So you've got the Kahf standing up. Remember I mentioned in the other video that if you basically rotated it 90 degrees, then it would look like the Kahf. Here you've got the Ra, okay, which is the eyebrow. So nothing has been taken away, by the way, from this symbol. Nothing has been taken away. It's the symbol as it is. The only thing is it's been restructured, okay? And what you see here, Ra, Fa, and Kahf. Here's the Ra, here's the Fa, here's the Kahf, which is all inside here in this symbol, right? Which is here in this symbol, Ka, Fa, Ra, in the Egyptian symbolism, right? Which again is an interesting shape of the pineal gland, which is in the center of the brain, subhanallah. Yeah. Now let's go back to the paper again. Now over here you can clearly see it's Kafara. Now put it together, subhanallah. Kafir. Right? So I mean, there's very, very interesting relationship between this the Eye of Horus, Dajjal, and then the word kafara that the Prophet ﷺ referred to, and then the relationship that the Eye of Horus has with the pineal gland and divinity of man, right? At least in the mystery religions. The activation of the pineal gland, the lizard brain as it were, basically is the alchemy of man into God. Astaghfirullah Rabbi min kulli zambin wa atubu ilayh. A'udhu billahi min zalik. Anyway, so as can be seen in figure 4, the three letters form precisely into the word kufr when combined. So nothing's been taken away from this. It's exactly what we just saw, just combined. It's a very crude representation of that, but to be honest with you, a very compelling one. Ulama certainly would, I'd recommend that they basically study this at length and see whether there are any correlations.
Anas bin Malik reported that Allah's Messenger ﷺ said, Dajjal is blind in one eye, and there is written between his eyes the word kafir. He then spelled the word as kafara, which every Muslim should be able to read. Sahih Muslim. So let's take a moment to think a bit more carefully, a bit more deeply. Let's reflect. Let's do some tafakkur. Tafakkaru. Let's do some tafakkur over the word rawasiya. This word is widely agreed upon as meaning firmly set and or fixed. What are some other synonyms in the English dictionary to the word firm? Have a look for yourself. Don't take my word for it. So, if you agree, and scholars do agree, rawasiya means firmly set, fixed. So if that's the case, what are other words that are synonymous to the word firm? You'll find in there immovable, stationary, motionless. Are you getting the picture now? So if we agree, if we agree that Allah tells us in the Quran that the mountains are rawasiya, and number two, the scholars of Quranic Arabic agree that rawasiya means firmly set and or fixed, and lastly, number three, we hopefully can use our intellect to agree that something firmly set and or fixed means that it is immovable, it is stationary, it is motionless, as agreed upon in the English dictionary. If we can agree upon these three things, so again, one more time, we agree that Allah tells us in the Quran that the mountains are rawasiya. Number two, the scholars of Quranic Arabic agree that rawasiya means firmly set and or fixed. Number three, we can use our intellect to agree that something that is firmly set and or fixed means that it is immovable, stationary and motionless. If something is firmly set or fixed, it means it is immovable, stationary and motionless, as agreed upon in the English language. If we can agree upon the above three logical facts, then how can we try to twist this and say statements such as, oh, they are fixed to the ground, but are actually moving in space and spinning at unimaginable speeds. They are fixed, but if you go into this place called space, you'll find that it is spinning at unimaginable speeds. So if you believe this, then what you're saying is that to us, and only us, it is rawasiya, as Allah says in the Quran. So to us, the creation, an-nas, mankind, human beings, only to us, it is rawasiya, firmly set and fixed. But if you go high enough and far enough, it is no longer rawasiya. Astaghfirullah. I'm not saying that, but this is what you're saying. Those who believe in the globe, those who do not accept that the earth is level. I'll try to avoid that word that triggers people. So that's what you're saying. If you believe this, then what you're saying is that to us and only us, it is rawasiya. But if you go high enough and far enough, it is no longer rawasiya, and therefore it is no longer standing still. It is no longer stationary because now you can see its ridiculously unimaginable speedy movement in the same way that anyone in the heavens and beyond can see. That's what you're saying, not me. That's what you're saying. Globalists. That's what you're saying. That at one point it no longer becomes rawasiya if you are up there high enough. Astaghfirullah.
quoting Alan Dames, "If the government or NASA had said to you that the Earth is stationary, imagine that. And then imagine we are trying to convince people that no, it's not stationary, it's moving forward at 32 times rifle bullet speed and spinning at 1,000 miles per hour. We would be laughed at. We would have so many people telling us, you're crazy, the Earth's not moving. We would be ridiculed for having no scientific backing for this convoluted moving Earth theory. And not only that, but then people would say, oh, then how do you explain a fixed calm atmosphere and the sun's observable movement? How do you explain that? Imagine saying to people, no, the atmosphere is moving also, but is somehow magically velcroed to the moving Earth. The reason is not simply because the Earth is stationary. So what we are actually doing is what makes sense. We are saying that the moving Earth theory is nonsense. The stationary Earth theory makes sense, and we are being ridiculed. You've got to picture it being the other way around to realize just how ridiculous the situation is. This theory from the government and NASA that the Earth is rotating and orbiting and leaning over and wobbling is absolute nonsense, and yet people are clinging to it tightly like a teddy bear. They just can't bring themselves to face the possibility that the Earth is stationary, though all evidence shows it. We feel no movement, the atmosphere hasn't been blown away, we see the sun move from east to west. Everything can be explained by a motionless Earth without bringing in all these assumptions to cover up previous assumptions gone bad.
You see, there's something interesting about the human mind. You can adjust to an awful lot of stuff. You can adjust to a lot of things that would terrify you to begin with. After a while, they become common and ordinary.
So you mean contact with the supernatural can become commonplace and ordinary and doesn't bother anybody?
Yeah.
In other words, the more that you do it, you're not uncomfortable.
That's
it's
right.
just not an uneasy feeling.
So, he said the supposed spirits of the dead that you're talking with are demon spirits. Your fallen angels. You're beautiful beings.
Just set it out, just like that.
Oh, yeah.
It didn't make you uneasy when he said they were
Well,
just
it shocked you a little bit, something that you first hear mentioned to you. He said, you guys have got a great future ahead of you. Because we've been told, the high priest of our society, secret society, has been told that the master has very special plans for you too.
Now, what did he mean by the master?
Satan. And we were interested to hear more about it. And he told us, he says, look, we worship spirits. We worship Lucifer and all his angels. They're just as beautiful as they did before they were cast out of heaven. He says there was a misunderstanding in the whole thing. He says among the inhabitants of the galaxies. And he says our master was misunderstood. And God did not bear with him like he does with people that make mistakes today. So we're in a warfare, good against evil. And we happen to be the evil ones, but we're not that bad. He says, I look at this business between the forces of good and evil. He says, you believe in one person believes in God, and everyone believes in Lucifer. It's like politics.
So the great controversy is real. And you've heard someone talk about it that's on the other side.
And to these people, they are sold to the fact that Christ will not return to this planet with power and great glory. He's going to abdicate all claims to the planet, because the high priest once said that Christ will abdicate all claims to the planet because he knows that it is lawfully and rightfully Satan's. And at that time he says, so the priest says, well now, he says, for those of you that are new, let me tell you that this is the most feasible way, he says, to please the spirits. It's to deride Christ and his people, and his church and all that. So they sing out of Christian hymnals.
They didn't sing Christian words to the hymns, however.
Well, they changed a lot of them. Yeah,
not for the good.
It's a form of blasphemy. Yeah. Such as you see today in the rock music world. You see the entertainers, they have these crosses. The ladies got earrings, crosses. The guys got crosses. This is a form of blasphemy, a form of deriding Christ. You see, spirits cause the people to do that, to find pleasure in wearing this type of emblem, which is the cross is the emblem of the crucifixion of Christ to the Christians.
Better to reign in hell than serve in heaven, is that it?
Why not? I'm here on the ground with my nose in it since the whole thing began. I've nurtured every sensation man has been inspired to have. I cared about what he wanted, and I never judged him. Why? Because I never rejected him. In spite of all his imperfections, I'm a fan of man! I'm a humanist. Maybe the last humanist. Who, in their right mind, Kevin, could possibly deny the 20th century was entirely mine?
ناس بس في بيروت وفي لبنان ناس بالجنين الكبار قوي يعني سمعت والله اعلم يعني ما بحبش افهم يقول لك بيجيبوا حاجه الماده السيبه الاحمر دي بتبقى ماده غاليه جدا 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 بيحضروها وبيجيبوها معاهم بيحضروا جن يطلع لهم جن عامل زي الجن الاحمر كده نار في وشه ومش عارف ايه وبيطلع الجن دوت بيديلهم طلباتهم وياخد منهم الزبق الاحمر ده يشرب ده اخر معلومات عنه.
So why don't you just ruminate whilst I illuminate the possibility? Whilst I illuminate the possibility, illuminate the possibility.
That the priest mentioned to us that the time had arrived for us to start trusting the spirits and give the spirits a chance to work for us. And there was a number of gifts that you could choose from.
Well, Alibaba had them 40 thieves, Sherazade had 1,000 tales. But master, you in luck, 'cause up your sleeves you got a brand of magic never fails. You got some power in your corner now, some heavy ammunition in your camp. You got some punch, job, who and how, say all you gotta do is rub that lamp. And I'll say, Mr. Aladdin, sir, what will your pleasure be? Let me take your order, jot it down, you ain't never had a friend like me. Life is your restaurant and I'm your melody. Come on, whisper what it is you want. You ain't never had a friend like me. Yes, sir. We pride ourselves on service. You're the boss, the king, the shah. Say what you wish, it's yours. True dish. About a little more baklava. As some are calling me, try all of column B. I'm in the mood to help you, dude. You ain't never had a friend like me.
a bottle, baby. Come on and let me out.
He's having his devotions and worship room of the gods, and he will use a trance medium to converse with certain demon spirits that will inform him in regards to ancient history. And the man shook his head a little bit like this. His eyes went glazed, and he stayed at it for a half hour. And the spirit spoke to him. So I'm the spirit counselor. And what would you like to know?
And so he asked the questions of one of these human beings that was channeling.
Oh yeah, the voice changed and everything. The voice changed for the person completely. And
it identified itself as a spirit guide.
Oh, yeah. Spirit counselor, yeah.
Okay, a spirit counselor. And then proceeded to tell him all the events that he was asking, answer his question?
They had one pillar on this side representing light, one pillar on this side representing dark. And around the center, you had the area where they used to sacrifice the animals and other living beings. The center between these two points.
Satan and all his spirit counselors held a great general council with one purpose in mind. It was to prepare for the great industrial age that was soon to break upon the world. And Lucifer also foresaw another age that was to follow that, where tremendous scientific discoveries would be made by people, and we would enter a unique age that would change the way that everybody lives. It would also serve to usher in the end times and the close of the great controversy between the forces of good and evil. And the priest said that Lucifer had been studying the Bible, and he found in Daniel 12:4, where we are told about the time of the end, many shall run to and fro, knowledge shall be increased. He understood it to be that we're getting to that point. And he had, with all the spirit counselors, to change their modes of operation in order to ensnare people. And he devised a way whereby people would disqualify themselves from being members of Christ's kingdom.
And he was just very candid about this.
Oh, yeah.
Telling you and the rest of the group, 60 or 70 people there, the plans that
close to 100 people.
Lucifer had revealed to him.
They had three major policies that were going to be followed. First, Lucifer says, we have to make sure that people, humans, get to believe that Satan and his angels do not really exist.
You know, Roger, that's interesting because a recent research study report that I read indicated that in a national survey, I believe it's over 75% of people do not really believe in a real tangible devil. But there is one.
Oh, yeah. Oh, the next thing, the three-parts policy that they had adopted there, the second one was to find a way of being able to get total control of people's minds. And that would be done by taking hypnotism out of the realm of the occult and introduce it as a new science for the benefit of mankind. They felt that by taking hypnotism out of the realm of the occult and introducing it as a new science for the benefit of mankind, they could then use people of great renown, educators, people of capacity, that would do great things, such as supposedly regress people in time to former lives that they had. And of course, after the session is over, the person would not know a thing about ancient history. And the person she or he has talked about performing, you know, certain deeds, we'll say 3,000 or 4,000 years ago. But this was their strategy. Now, what this would do for the thing is this, that it would create in the minds of the general public, solidly set in the mind of the general public, an unwavering trust in that great deception. So now this would be a way of de-Christianizing the Western world through the avenue of mysticism.
The three things were, number one, that they did not want Satan did not want the human family to think that he or his angels existed.
Right.
The second point that you made had to do with taking control of people's minds.
That's right.
The third point was what?
Was to destroy the Bible without burning it.
Okay.
See?
And what was his strategy on that?
On that, it was very interesting. Because after the Great General Council, it was decided that Satan would tutor Charles Darwin personally in setting up the principles of his theories of evolution. He was tutored by Lucifer himself, fallen Lucifer. And at that time, it was understood, Satan and his spirit counselors understood, that if a person was led to believe in the theory of evolution, it would, in his life, destroy completely the creation week of the Bible, the fall of man, and the plan of redemption. It would do away with it. Anyone that teaches a theory of evolution is considered to be a minister of a great religious system. And he said that every teacher of that theory is recognized by the spirits as a person of great value and receives a very special unction from Satan himself, giving great power to induce spiritual blindness, to convince and convert. Three capacities. This is the grain plain, the Master's grain plain, for harvesting the nations, for harvesting the multitudes of the earth into his cause, just before the close of the great controversy between the forces of good and evil. It's going to be done in a unique manner. This grain plain is going to take people people are going to eat the stuff, because it says spirits, demon spirits, will declare themselves to be inhabitants of far distant planets in the galaxies that are coming to warn the inhabitants of planet Earth of the impending destruction of the planet unless something seriously proper is done to avoid it.
Metaphor. If you think about Aladdin and his lamp, you've probably heard of that one. The genie always says one thing.
Your wish is my command.
You know, the universe is this great genie, and your conscious mind is Aladdin. It formulates the intention of what you choose for your life.
At the very heart and core of all these secret societies lurks the Kabbalah. It is a method of encoding information through a system of mathematics and numbers. These people that belong to the secret societies never dared to write down in any language what they knew, what it was that they were guarding, because then someone could steal it and then the secret would be out. So they took this knowledge and they made it occult through a system of encoding, encryption, one of which is mathematics, numbers. Another is architecture. Everybody wonder, why do they have a fraternal organization called the Freemasons? Aren't those the guys that build walls? You bet they do. But every wall they build contains the secrets that have been kept and maintained throughout the ages, and it's encoded in the architecture and in the measurements of the buildings and in the mathematical formulas used to derive the geometry and the shape, the length and breadth and height of rooms. It's all encoded there.
And remember this, that what God has told us in the Quran and His Prophet has also explained, that you would be answered or you'll be held questionable, you'll be questioned for what you believe, not what people believe. So if you're not satisfied with certain things and you would not, God will not accept this answer from you. Well, God, I did this because my mom said I should do this, or I did this because my dad said this. Because God is not going to accept your mom and dad's answer. He would like to know what you think and why did you not act on your own thinking. So what you do is you present, or you try to present your own solution to that problem. And from a reflective thinker To a critical thinker, you become a creative thinker. You now start to give a new dimension in life. We go through reflective thinking, we go through critical thinking, and ultimately we end up in that creative thinking mode by giving a new expression to the answers given earlier.
Do you want to conserve your wealth the way of Allah and His messengers, using the same method established by the Khalifa Umar bin Khattab radiallahu anhu and implemented by Uthman bin Affan radiallahu anhu? Then consider purchasing gold and silver coins and bullion bars from SunnahCurrency.com, where they use astonishing Islamic designs on mint 24 karat gold and pure silver. Sunnah Currency is now certified by and a proud member of the Islamic Monetary Council, IMC. This is the Islamic solution to the current global uncertainty. This is what Allah made halal for us. Invest in precious metals in the way of the authentic Sunnah, which has intrinsic value. Protect your wealth by having it in your hands and not someone else's. Please use the link in the description box to get a special EndGame discount on your purchase and get it dispatched today. By using the EndGame discount code during your purchase, you can also help us build and progress on our projects for the Ummah, inshallah.
Okay, so it's all connected. This whole mesmerism, hypnotism, all of this, the occult coming into the field of science, coming from these Jesuits, these Masons, selling us the Big Bang Theory, evolution, what else are they trying to sell? Basically ultimately hiding God, yeah? Hiding Allah, hiding His creation, hiding who we are, how we're made, what we're made of, what we're meant to do, everything, basically hiding all of the truth, because you can only get people to believe an alternative if you are able to, so the alternative is there. So the globe, the globe is their alternative for you, from believing in what Allah has said in the Quran, in the Torah, in the Injil. So I hope this makes sense, because I'll be honest, I had it planned, but it just kept getting messy and I had to be done with it. I hope this helps. I hope this makes sense. The point is that it seems like there's too large a portion of the Muslim Ummah that still rejects the truth, which is in the Quran and the Torah and the Injil, about who we are, where we live, what those things above us are. And anyway, I'll leave it there. So hopefully the next one will be better, more organized. But please, if you found benefit, please do comment, please do share something. And see you on the next one, inshallah.
Space may be the final frontier, but it's made in a Hollywood basement. Space may be the final frontier, but it's made in a Hollywood basement. Space may be the final frontier, but it's made in a Hollywood basement. Space may be the final frontier, but it's made in a Hollywood basement.
Have you ever dreamed of going up to outer space? Or maybe meeting other beings from another place? Have you ever wondered what it's like on other planets? Then you watch a science show and come to believe you understand it? You feel empowered by the knowledge and you feel enlightened, listening to Bill Nye and Neil deGrasse Tyson. But then you wake up and you start to see the obvious. Life is just a lie and this whole world ain't what we thought it was. NASA's missions to the moon were never completed. They just filmed them in a room and people believe it. I used to wonder what it's like to be an astronaut. Now when I see them acting, I can't help but to laugh a lot. They give us cartoons and they claim that we live on a ball, but it's flat and it's not moving or spinning at all. Why you lying to us, man? That's something that we want to know. After that you're gonna have to pack up all your stuff and go.
Space may be the final frontier, but it's made in a Hollywood basement. Space may be the final frontier, but it's made in a Hollywood basement. Space may be the final frontier, but it's made in a Hollywood basement. Space may be the final frontier, but it's made in a Hollywood basement.
History has been rewritten written by winners of wars. The Jesuit order, Khazars, Freemasons, and more. They pulled the veil over our eyes, and it's time to awaken. Through organized indoctrination, our minds have been taken. It's time we take our power back and we rescue our people. The Vatican and the bankers are like Resident Evil. They may have had the greatest plan that was ever concocted, but Illuminati never thought that they'd ever be spotted. They're manufacturing reality all in our heads. They tell us if the earth is flat then we'll fall off the edge, but if it is a spinning ball we won't fall off it then. And gravity is our imaginary magic friend. Why is water always flat when unmanipulated? Why are pictures of the earth computer generated? Why you lying to us, man? That's something that we want to know. After that you're gonna have to pack up all your stuff and go.
It's becoming 100% crystal clear that you and the other space programs that are in operation are connected and are deceiving the entire world. More and more people are waking up every single day, and we are now able to see right through you. But what we really want to know is, why are you lying? Sincerely, me and the great people of this earth.
Space may be the final frontier, but it's made in a Hollywood basement.
The captain thinks the world is round, see? But we all know it's a flat, right?
Of course it's flat. Sure, I know the world is flat.
Well, so do I. Everybody knows that.